What's going on, guys? So what happened on my show day? Let's just jump straight into it, right? So on show day, I placed third in men's classic physique in the open class. It was my first time doing classic physique. So over the course of my bodybuilding amateur competition years, I've always competed in men's physique. And my last competition was in 2018. And in 2018, I came in fifth. It was the worst showing I ever had. I barely placed. It was just a horrible experience. I dieted too hard. I was on 2 hours of cardio. That I can make a whole nother video on how bad that prep was. So I'm going to focus on this one. On this one, it was the best prep I ever had. It was pretty much the easiest prep I've ever had. It kind of flew by after a while, which was really good. It wasn't so strenuous. And there's a lot of factors going into this. This was the first prep I ever had where I have two babies now. So my last comp was 4 years ago. This was the first prep having two kids. Moving to Texas, big change. There's a lot of changes that have happened, but the biggest aspect, I'll try to stick to more bodybuilding formalities. The biggest aspect was taking 4 years off and growing, right? So my last comp on show day, I weighed in at 171. Super small, right? And I'm 6 foot. So this comp at registration, night of registration, I weighed in at 203. That's a lot of weight added on in 4 years, right? But show morning, when I was more drier, the day of the show, Saturday, I weighed in at 197. To begin with, at every comp I've ever done, they have heighted me in at 5'11". One comp I did, they heighted me in at 5'10". Okay. So I'm setting a prelude here. So they heighted me in at 5'10", and then it went to 5'11". So I haven't competed in 4 years. So I based my whole prep around being 5'11". Now the weight cap in men's physique is 205 for 5'11". I go to registration. They have me step on the scale. I weigh in at 203. I go, good. I made weight. Now, sidebar, right? Before that, I stopped eating. So the day of registration, I stopped eating. I cut water, which I had to do regardless, right? I cut water, but I didn't eat for probably 6 hours the day before the show. And I had cut water around 3 in the afternoon. And registration at the show was at 7 at night. So I weighed in at 203, right? And then they go, okay, do your height. So I go in and I height in. They go, you're 6 foot on the dot. We're going to move you up. And I was like, dude, I wasn't arguing. I was more cracking jokes because that's just how I am. But I was like, man, I said, I've competed for years and you guys have always heighted me in at 5'11". And then they were just like, well, you grew. We got to move you up a division. Your weight cap is now 212. And I went, wow. So I could have spent this whole day carbing up a lot more. So that was that. Whatever. No big deal. I haven't competed in 4 years. I wasn't trying to go in there and turn heads or anything. I just wanted to be better than I have been throughout my years. And that's the most important thing when it comes to competing, is just beating your previous package, and not worrying about who's going to be there. The only time, I believe, as a coach and as a guy who competes, when you're competing, the only time you should worry about your other competitors is when you're on the pro circuit. When you're on the amateur level still trying to obtain your pro card, it's just about beating your previous package. You are your enemy. That's what it's about. You are your enemy. You're just trying to beat yourself and what you previously looked like and just improve. You can't worry about who's going to be there because you have no idea who these people are. You don't know who's going to show up on show day and just eradicate people or some genetic freak that shows up and just destroys the competition. It happens all the time. So the best thing you could do is just try to place higher. Try to beat your better package, right? Even if you don't get a call out, your photos will tell the truth of what's going on and if you are progressing. Anyways, so I stopped eating, and then I get home, and then I was like, man, I started getting into burger and fries. I was super flat. I still had to do my tan at home because I did pro tan at home. And so the next morning I wake up 197, dehydrated. I haven't had water since 3 p.m. The day before. And I was like, I am extremely flat. I got to eat. I got to eat. I got to eat. So I just start pounding food. I go to McDonald's. I get pancakes. I get 2 sausage and egg McGriddles. I get 2 hash browns. I'm like, cool. It's pretty good. I didn't feel bloated. Felt really, really good. I wasn't even going to go on stage until like 11, and I was up at 6 a.m. So I eat that, put on my tan, and then I take off, head to the show, get to the show right when it starts, have a lot of time to kill. So I probably eat like 4 Rice Krispie treats. I eat a bag of Skittles, and that was it. And that's all I ate until prejudging. And I felt fine. I thought I looked good. And then before I even got on stage, I was backstage with all the classic physique guys, meeting everybody, hanging out. That's the best part about shows, is just networking, meeting new people. Everybody's on the same energy as you. It's being backstage with people. And if there's the right characters, you have the guys that are super serious, which are no fun to be around. And then you have the guys that are there to have a good time. And they're the best people to be around because it eases your tension. You're not getting this adrenaline dump and, cortisol levels or whatever, but you're backstage hanging out, cracking jokes, meeting people. And I met a bunch of dudes back there, had a blast. I'm backstage and I'm looking at everybody. And I wasn't even like looking at their shape. I was like, crap, my tan. Because I did my tan at home and I put on 4 layers. I put on 2 layers. I put on 3 layers of like the base coat, the lighter one, overnight. And then in the morning, I put on 2 layers of the extremely dark coat. Dude, my tan does not look good. I was literally walking up to guys and going, I was like, you're hecka darker than me. I'm going to interrupt this video. This is the pre-workout I use. It's called Granite Neurostim. If you guys want to pick one up, use code SAM10. It helps support the channel. It helps support my family and everything else that I do. So go to Granitesupplements, best supplements, 180 grams of caffeine. It's low dose, medium to low dose. Gives you a great stimuli when you're working out. And I can't recommend it enough. Go pick one up. Use code SAM10. And I was just super white compared to the other competitors. It was extremely bad. I failed really big time on that. It's still haunting me. It's like a week and a half after my show, but I'm really upset about how seriously I didn't take that, and I should know better. It's a huge fault on my own. I'm upset at myself for that. Go to finals and get my trophies, do my posing routine. I talked to one of the judges after. They were like, you look good. They were like, it was your tan. They go, if your tan was darker and it showed a little bit more shadows, a little bit more lines, they go, we probably would have rewarded you higher. That's what I'm bummed about, is like getting that feedback. And I was like, damn it, I should have known better, But it was a great experience. And I told myself, I was like, okay, I'm going to do one competition this year and just be done with it. Because now the issue is that I didn't think that I was going to do so good. Honestly didn't. I didn't think I was going to get called out. Taking 3rd place may not be a big deal for other people. But again, I haven't competed in 4 years. I focused on my business, focused on having a family, all these things in life that I really wanted to focus on, and I did it. It just reignited my love for bodybuilding, because I love bodybuilding. I love posing. The gym is something very unique and special to me. Nutrition is extremely important to me in my life, and how much I study it even after I got an education in it. It just, the consistent new science and data that comes out that keeps me so interested with nutrition and pharmaceuticals and everything. And I was just like, I have to step on stage again next year, because there's still a lot more that I could tweak with my physique. I could come in a lot more conditioned. Definitely a lot more conditioned. A few regrets I have during prep is dieting down too hard. I went down to 1,800 calories for about a week and a half. No, actually, it was like 2 weeks, doing 1 hour of cardio a day. And in another video, I'll explain all the mechanisms of that, because that really relates to the worst prep I ever had 4 years ago, my worst show. And I'll make another video about that. But this one, I could come in way more conditioned. And what the big sign is for me, at least, is doing my reverse diet right now after the comp, how much I'm eating. Like, I immediately went up to 2,500 calories and I filled up. I looked great. And that's normal because you're adding water back in, you're eating a bunch of junk food, and you're filling up. That's normal. People always look good after their show because the water is being added in if you have dehydrated. But this is now almost 2 full weeks out of my show, and I've gotten leaner. I'm at the same weight. I'm at 198 that I was on show day without being dehydrated. And my metabolism is working a lot faster because my energy expenditure is higher. Again, a lot of mechanisms that go into that. But now I'm eating 3,000 calories a day, 400 grams of carbohydrates, like 250 grams of protein, and almost like 80 grams of fat. My metabolism's through the roof and I'm responding really good. And even to like right now, it's almost like I can't get full. I'm still walking around flat. I'm gonna spend pretty much the next 3 months just trying to gain weight, since my weight cap has now moved to 212. There's a lot more weight that I could put on, and maybe start dieting in February and start planning out for shows for myself and try to knock out a little bit more shows. But I really got to focus. I got to nail down my conditioning. I got to figure out a solution, because that's the biggest issue I have with coming into these shows is my conditioning is just not, my back doesn't get as lean, and it's pretty much my midsection, because I have a 4-pack, but I don't have that. I don't have round muscle bellies, I will say. So it's hard for my abs to be dilated and sharp, and my lower back. Show day, I had striated glutes on the lower end, but my back, like my erectors were still cloudy, everything like that. So there's a lot more that I have to figure out for myself, and not so much try to play around with, but figure out an execution for my next show.